everybody, what's going on? It's Mr. Hino with Mr. Hino's LEGO Robotics. Today I have the pleasure of bringing you Anton from Antons Mindstorms Hacks. We had the, just the ability and opportunity to be able to meet and be able to talk about robotics because that's what you guys love. And it was just an awesome time to just be able to trade stories, ask each other questions. So today what I want to do is bring to you just the interview that we had. If you guys want to hit up the interview that he had with me, just hit up the description and that link is going to be there. But today I wanted to definitely focus on Anton and his questions, or I'm sorry, the answers to his questions that I had for him. So today what we're going to be looking at is his answers to what does he prefer as far as Spike Prime or Inventor, because right now that's going to be the big question. As EV3 is getting phased out, a lot of you are wondering, okay, where does that leave us? And as far as Spike Prime and Inventor, they're similar in their capabilities and similar in their parts and pieces, but a lot of you are asking, hey, but which one is better? So we're gonna figure out from Anton what his take is on that. And then I definitely wanna get into the new project that he was working on, and then just be able to talk to him and talk about robotics. So I definitely wanna be quiet and let you hear more about what he had to say about these things.
I teach not robotics, but I teach teams to cooperate with Scrum. Are you familiar with Scrum?
No.
It's a way of working together as a team that's very self-managing, and it works really well for multidisciplinary teams that are cracking hard nuts and solving complex problems.
Wow.
And what I really like about that is bringing the creativity in there, because I feel that many people in their working lives, they get in this groove, in this process, and they lose a lot of creativity, and then you come home really tired. And I try to get the creative spark back in teams, and get the joy of solving complex problems together. It's pretty much like you do in your classroom, create this world and create this atmosphere where it's okay to make mistakes, because that's where you learn, and that's the way to solve complex stuff and learn things you didn't know. So I'm doing that in business, actually.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So Anton, with all that you do with robotics, and I've checked out your channel and see that you do many different things. You're not just one-dimensional. You do from programming to building. So what would you say is the most fun thing for you to do out of all the things that you do?
Yeah, what I really enjoy is um, seeing something in real life, and those can be small things. And I've been thinking about this. I think it's mostly motions or movements that I see happening, and then I try to understand these motions by building a robot that mimics that motions, that gets the same feel. So it's it's like very, it's not very scientific, it's an emotion that evokes a certain feeling. So for instance, a few weeks ago, I was taking a walk outside in the fields, and I saw some rabbits sitting there, and I was just like mesmerized by their movement. They were sitting upright and then turning their ears, looking around, and then doing a few hops and then stomping their feet. And this motion so fascinated me that the first thing I did when I came home was build a robot that did just that. So this robot here,
Oh, no way.
this bunny here is the result of that. And this one can uh, do the rabbit hop by extending the front legs and then flipping the hind legs and sitting back up. And I worked really hard with the center of gravity to have it sit up like this, like a real rabbit. So this kind of motion studies, I really enjoy that. And then the kick I get, if if you know, it really not only looks like a rabbit but also moves like a rabbit. That's really my big thing. It's
Yeah.
poetry in a way. I don't know. Uh, and
That's amazing. And that's all Spike Prime?
yeah, that's all Spike Prime. Um, and yeah, you know, and it's that's a good question, because that brings me to another thing that I really enjoy with building Lego robotics is the puzzle, is the challenge. So I really enjoy doing this and staying within the kids, so not any adding any extra Legos, because that makes the puzzle so much more challenging. And so I
Yeah,
really like to build one kit models. And the Spike Prime kit is actually pretty challenging because there is not many pieces in there. So
exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
uh,
So do you have a video for that yet?
yeah, it's on Facebook. Um, on Facebook, I do these short format videos just showing the end result. And on YouTube, I tend to do the longer format videos where I not only show the result, but also explain how it works, how you can build it, what is the thinking behind the programming, and all of that. Um, so, and because I really try to inspire people to do the same thing as I guess, and try and um, pick movements apart and replicate them in robots. So I want to give people all the tools and the concepts to do that.
I love that rabbit.
Yeah,
Um, that kind of brings me to my next question, Anton. I have a lot of viewers, and I guess the main question I get from my viewers is, what kit should they buy? And it's really hard for me to know their situation. A lot of these are parents, and I don't know what their kid, what their age is, what their expertise level. So what would your advice be for a parent who says, I have an 8-year-old son, should I get the EV3, the Spike Prime, or the Inventor? What would be your
yeah,
kind of response to that?
yeah. And don't forget the boost. The boost is actually a pretty nice kit too. You know, there is this
Mm-hmm.
Droid boost kit and the original boost kit. But I think the short answer is, when in doubt, go Robot Inventor. So that's the green one. You can't miss with that one. I think Lego has done a really great job with that one. Um, and for the general public, it's the perfect kit. It's got 4 motors, so you can do a lot of these movements that I really like. There is a lot of
Mm-hmm.
degrees of freedom in there. There is a lot of bricks. I think 900 different bricks in there.
Yep.
So it's an amazing kit, and within the kit you have so much freedom to build models. So that's the first general answer, but that's not to say that I really still see value in the other kits out there. For instance, the Spike Prime kit, I really like it. But for me, this one is really a teaching tool. Um, and it's got way fewer bricks, but I think that's actually really good in a teaching situation, because when you're teaching, I don't know about you, but when I'm teaching, I want to spend actually as little time as possible on building and as much time as possible on tweaking and programming and learning. And I actually think following building instructions isn't all that, valuable from a learning perspective. And the real value starts when you start playing and tweaking and programming. So um, having fewer bricks means, as a teacher, you spend less time cleaning up and building, and you have more time actually programming and learning. So
Yeah.
as a teaching tool, I think Spike Prime is another brilliant kit by Lego. They really did their homework there. And then there is EV3. Let me see. I think this is an EV3 model that I have laying around. Um, have you seen this one?
I don't think I have.
So this one here is a very complex robot. It's an omnibot, so it's got these rotocasters wheels.
Hmm.
And with just these three wheels, it can move in any direction and even rotate. So it's a very versatile robot with lots of degrees of freedom. It takes way more math to program this, and it's got this rubber band cannon here on top. It's actually a rubber band machine gun. You can load up to 50 rubber bands on there. And
What?
then there is a camera here. Maybe I should show it. So this is
Okay.
a
Wow.
camera, and you can use VR goggles to look through that camera. And there is an iron sight here, and that really shows you where your rubber bands will go. So complex robots like this are really awesome in EV3, and they are very hard to do with the other kits. So
Yeah.
I'd say if you are a competitive robotics builder, probably in FLL, my guess is that EV3 will still dominate for quite a few years. So
Yeah.
if you're competitive, if you're building really advanced robots like this one, EV3 is still the way to go because it's got this big battery and these huge motors with a lot of torque. But you just spend so much more time building and programming that you have to want to do that. And I think the new kits are so amazing because you have a great robot in minutes, and then you can start playing with it. So that's the long answer, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that'll just have to be that. I just have to know their kid and what level they are, and yeah, what their ultimate goal for them to be. And yeah, that's great advice. I love how you gave good advice for all three of them. So
Yeah.
probably made it maybe a little tougher now. Okay,
No,
it's
it's
gonna
really
be one of
simple.
those. Yeah,
It's really
yeah.
simple.
I tell them, your kid would do good with any of these kits, and they can always, like a shoe, just grow out of it and maybe go to something else. But yeah,
Yeah.
you really can't, put one glove on it and expect it to fit for everybody. So yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah.
So I think you already touched on this, but maybe you can repeat this again. Anton, how did you get started in robotics? And what is your profession?
Well, I think I actually started way earlier than you did. It must have been 1990 or something, 1992 maybe, where I got this Macintosh SE. You remember these
Yeah. Uh-huh.
boxy Macs
Yep.
with the little 9-inch black and white screen? And so I was actually the odd kid out in my class because everyone had PCs and was playing Doom on these video cards, and I had a Mac and I couldn't play Doom, but was one of the first kid with a Mac. So I started programming my own games in I think it was HyperCard or something. It was some JavaScript like language. And then one day my dad came home with some kind of serial port thingy that could that had these switches, and you could power it with 9 volt, and then these switches could turn off or on motors. So you couldn't control the speed; it was only on or off. And so those were the outputs, and there were also a few inputs, and also on and off. And I had some Technic sets at that time, so I had the idea of connecting that stuff to my Technic sets, and I built these robot arms that could pick up chess pieces and move them around the board. And to know the position of the motors, I had to build my own homemade switches with rubber bands and pieces of aluminum foil that would tick every half rotation, so I could keep track of where my robot arm was. And
Wow.
so stuff like that really got me started. And then there was, before Mindstorms, even the original Mindstorms appeared, there was RCX, I think it was the first Mindstorm set.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
the yellow brick in the blue box
Uh-huh.
with all the lightning bolts. Uh,
Yeah.
that was fascinating, but that was really expensive for me at the time. I didn't have the money to buy that. And then the first Mindstorms kit I bought was NXT2. So there's the orange and gray one right before EV3. That
Hmm.
was when I got my first paid job after university, and I actually had the money to go out and buy a Mindstorms kit. And yeah, it was a great experience. I had a lot of fun with that NXT set, and since then I bought every Mindstorms kit that ever appeared on the market. I was like hooked. Yeah. It's a bit of an addiction, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Um, so Anton, what would you say, kind of moving forward and going into the future, what would you say is the coolest thing that you would want a robot to be able to do to make your life easier or
Yeah. Well, there's two categories. I think I like robots who do chores that I really don't like doing. And then there is the other categories where I like robots to do amazing stuff that is just mesmerizing to watch, but isn't very useful per se. And in the first category, it's actually driving. So I don't mind being in a car, chatting in a car, reading in a car, but actually driving the car is like the most boring thing to do. It's I get racing cars around the racing track. That's a skill, and you can practice and learn a lot. But driving through traffic, staying safe, watching out is so extremely boring. So I'm really looking forward to the day that there is full autonomous driving and it's legal to just read your newspaper behind the wheel and only take over if want to take a scenic route or something. Um, so I'm really looking forward to that moment, but I'm afraid it can take 5 more years before it's even legal and safe to drive that way.
Mhm.
But Google and Tesla are making a lot of headway there
Mhm.
with nice and robotics cars. Um, and yeah, and so the boring stuff, but stuff like, it's not that I hate all manual stuff. For instance, cooking, I really enjoy that. I would never want a cooking robot, for instance. I really enjoyed, touching the ingredients and having really sharp knives and playing around with flavors. And it's a very interactive thing to do. But driving is not very interactive. And then in the other category, robots that do amazing stuff, I'm fascinated by swarm robotics. It's like, for me, it's a next level movement. So there is the movement of single animals, but then the movement of swarms of ants, of bees, flocks of birds is like really mind-blowing style of movement. So these robots, you have these drones, these quadcopters with lights that do these light shows in the air. I find that really amazing. And um, I'm really looking forward to swarm robotics in space. Right now on Mars, there is just a single robot, but how amazing would it be if there would be this army of robots that could, all these kind of small robots that could build shelters on Mars or wherever on the moon, and
Uh-huh.
then build habitats. So when humans land, you can go in there and switch on the lights, so to say.
Yes, sign me up. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So I think I think those are the two most amazing applications for robots that I'm really looking forward to.
Okay, guys, so there you have it. Anton from Antons Mindstorms Hacks. I left his channel down below, the link to his channel in the description. Just an amazing guy, just really neat to talk to. And as you guys look through his channel, I'm just blown away by his knowledge, genius, expertise, and I hope you enjoyed the interview that I had with him. Definitely check out his videos because they're gonna blow you guys away. But more than that, I was just more impressed with his passion for robotics. It's just one of these things where I just love to be able to talk with people with the same passion because we're all in the same boat. We're all trying to learn, and it's just really cool to be able to just each day learn new things. And so when you meet somebody that kind of has that same mindset, it's just really awesome. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thank you, Anton, for the opportunity to talk to you. And definitely check out his channel, subscribe, because we're all in this same boat together. We're all learning, and he has a lot to teach you guys. So, all right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. I am Mr. Hino from Mr. Hino's LEGO Robotics. I'm out.
He's out.
He's out.
We got this.
We got this.
We got this, guys.
Hey guys, Mr. Hino here. Thank you so much for watching. And if you love robotics, don't forget to check out these videos also because they're cool. Okay guys, take care.